So good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Interoperable Workflows between Archicad and Allplan webinar. So my name is New, and I will be moderating this session with our speakers, Mr. Sudhir Thapa, our Customer Success Manager at GSI, and Mr. Jayson Panganiban, the Technical Specialist at GSI.
Morning, New. Morning,
So,
Sudhir.
good morning. So in this webinar, we will cover the following topics. First of all is an overview of GSI, and then we will get to know the industry context to explain why we have this webinar. And after that, we will learn the main points of today, the interoperable workflows between Archicad and Allplan, and we will have some live demonstration from Mr. Sudhir and Mr. Jayson. And last but not least, we will be the Q&A section with the speakers. So please note that you can submit your questions at any time during this webinar, and using the chat box on the right side of your screen. And then now let's get started to the first part of our webinar, an overview of GSI. So I'm sure some of you are already familiar with GSI, but for those who are not, I'll give you a quick overview. GSI is an AEC solution provider that specializes in the Asia Pacific region. We have 4 offices, one in Vietnam, Hong Kong, Singapore, and Germany. We have with a team of over 40 members who are dedicated to helping our clients achieve their project's goal in the architecture, engineering, and construction industry field. To achieve this, GSI offers 2 main services. First, our software development team can create custom software solutions to meet the specific needs of our clients. Every project is different, and not every software solution is a perfect fit. That's why our team works closely with our clients to understand their needs and develop custom solutions or new configurations based on existing software. Second, GSI is a trusted partner of leading European construction software companies such as Allplan, BIM, Graphisoft, and ID Statica. These software solutions are designed to organize workflow in the construction industry, saving time and money, effort on every project. To learn more about GSI current services, please scan the QR code on your screen to visit our website and book your appointment with our team for further discussion. Now, we will move to our main part of our webinar today. First of all, we will need to know our speakers today. So I am introducing Mr. Sudhir Thapa, who is the Customer Success Manager at GSI. He has many years of experiences in AEC industry, and to connect with him on LinkedIn, you can scan this QR code or email to him if you have any questions related to the webinar. Joining with Mr. Sudhir today is Mr. Jayson, who is the technical specialist at GSI. He also has many years of experiences in precast industry. And to connect with him after the webinar, you can scan his QR code of his LinkedIn, or you can email to him if you have any questions related to the webinar. I would like to remind that you can submit your questions for the speaker at any time using the chat box on the right side of your screen. Our speakers will answer your questions at the end of the session. Now, I would like to invite them to begin their presentation.
Yeah, so we are on the Nemetschek Group slide. So about the Nemetschek Group, basically they are specialized in planning, design, building, construct, operate, manage, and media entertainment with the umbrella organizations. So basically, in this webinar, we are on the planning and design stage where Allplan and Graphisoft are involved as an open BIM approach, of course. So, so moving on to the next slide.
So I will briefly introduce about Graphisoft Archicad and Allplan. So Archicad is an architectural BIM CAD software for Macintosh and Windows developed by the Hungarian company Graphisoft. Today, Graphisoft is a part of Nemetschek Group, and it contains MEP modeling and structural modeling and reinforcement capabilities. Archicad is now being used by hundreds of thousands of architects and engineers worldwide in 108 countries within 27 languages. In today's webinar, we will also get to know about Allplan, who is a part of Nemetschek Group, and Allplan is the global provider of BIM design software for the AEC industry. Allplan's competence centers include Allplan Infrastructure and Allplan Recast, focusing on the delivery of building and infrastructure projects with an emphasis on equipping customers to increase efficiency in design-to-build workflows. So I think that Mr. Sudhir and Jayson will have more discussion why we have this webinar.
Yeah. Hey, Jayson. Yeah, the industry context. Yeah. So our first slide, as talking about the interoperability between the various BIM softwares in the industry. Would you like to share anything, a story on your side, why it's important?
Of course. Basically, so we did this webinar is because we want to show everyone that it doesn't need to be you're sticking on one software, but of course, if other softwares can help you on your projects, definitely you can have or you can use other softwares just to make sure that everything or your workflow will be working smoothly. Okay, so that's why we have this interoperability between BIM softwares, so that we're going to show you the Archicad to Allplan and back to Archicad, giving this information so that whenever the project starts, then you will already have your complete information of the BIM, and then you will just construct it smoothly. Yeah, so basically this kind of experience that I had before is that was actually there's there's other software wherein when we do some imports or export of the data, there are cases that it doesn't give me the, or let's say I can import the model, but when it goes back to this software, actually it does not give the exact location or regularity of the model. So there's some discrepancies when they do the checking. But what we're going to show you now is that the let's say a smooth transition, or let's say a smooth collaboration between these two softwares, so that you will have the better or proper workflow for your projects.
Yes, Jayson. I also had a similar experience when we had to be live on a project. During the project, there was a lot of issues arising with the structural team because they were sort of in a closed BIM environment, and that's why when they used to send us the files, we had to incorporate them in our side, and it does not always come into the right location, just as you said, and even the elements were sort of misplaced or missing or had no attributes in them. So that could be a technical issue as well, but still in a closed BIM environment, there are those general issues that you also just mentioned. So it's always very efficient that the architects and the engineers, they all collaborate and in sort of in open BIM environments to save the time and cost overruns.
Yeah, actually this is also the one part that we can show to them, that It doesn't matter if you're an architect or engineer, because most of the time these two have clashes on the design. Why? So basically, instead of arguing whose fault or something, then it's better to, let's say, coordinate each other and solve the problem.
Yeah, I totally agree. Yeah.
Yeah.
So moving on to the next slide. This is what we just also talked about. The closed BIM approach sort of restricts the ability of the stakeholders to seamlessly exchange the information, right? And it's quite nice if we can use Open BIM to sort of have that, you know, break that siloed workflows or fragmented communications. So, so let's start with the. So in this webinar, we have these contents that we will be doing. In the first, we already finished the background info. So we will start with the general workflow. So next slide.
Before you continue, maybe I'll just add up. So basically, we're showing you that we are showing only Archicad and Allplan. So basically, it doesn't mean that you can focus on these two softwares. Of course, there's a lot of softwares that you can use. So we're just showing you that we can collaborate to any softwares as long as you can. It can provide the information, and so just to have a better workflow for your project. So just to be clear on the software that you're going to use. But of course, we can show you that we can have a smooth process using Graphisoft and Allplan.
Is my screen visible now?
Yeah, it's visible.
Yeah, okay. So first slide here for the general workflow, we will be going from stage 1 to stage 6. And basically, the Open BIM webinar will contain this kind of workflow. Moving on with the next slide. This is a bit of more detail on the general workflow that we will be doing. On the stage 1, basically, it's the pre-design phase. We already have a model set up. It's a sample model. So on the stage 2, we will be preparing the BIM model. On the stage 3, we will have the QA, and we will distribute, or let's say export the model from Archicad to Allplan. On stage 4, we have import and design and modeling the structural elements. And once that's done, we move on ahead with the stage 5, where QA will be done and the model will be exported from Allplan. And finally, on stage 6, we will import the model, verify it, and sort of sort out those new model that we receive on the Graphisoft side. So moving on to the next slide. So, so this is where we start with the demo. We will do the stage 1 to 3 on Archicad. So I will quickly switch to the. Yes, so I hope my screen is visible now. So this is the Archicad interface we have. This is the sample model here. The stage 1 is pre-design phase, obviously, where the architects will design the building, which sort of will maybe look like this, or some of the design. For this project, we have this sample here, and then we will sort of sort out this model so that we can provide this model to the structural team. And once the collaboration starts, we can start with the layer combinations, where we can separate the layers as per the need and requirements. We can create those as well. And even before the whole stage 1, the design team is basically supposed to have the templates created, the attributes maintained, and sort of have those all set up before starting the project. In this sample, we already have those done. So on the stage 2, basically this happens, right? This happens, the setting of templates, the creation of attributes, and all those things. But on the stage 3, we will move on for the QA, and BIM model export, which I will like to show you here quickly. So on the QA side, we will use a lot of layer combinations that we require to sort of check for any discrepancies before exporting them to other design teams. First here, I can just quickly switch to the structural model that's imagined or sort of has a concept made by the team for the structural layout. We can also check the check the whole model according to the layers. If the layers are kept in the right model, I mean in the right layer, basically. Also, highlighting the structural elements is also necessary so that all those structural elements are on the proper layer, and once the other team receives the BIM model, they also have those same layers. And currently, I'm switching to the no overrides, and so this is the pre-design phase where we have not exported the model, so the layer combinations are sort of set up in a way that it displays the pre-design stage currently. So this is where I sort of export the model for the structural team to visualize the whole design concept, and they will get to adjust the structural elements, analyze the design accordingly, put in the load combinations and all that, and rebar placements as well. So quickly showing you how to export. Currently, I can just do the save as function here in Archicad. So if I do that, it will give me a dialog box. I hope you can see the dialog box. Is it visible? No?
Yeah, it's visible.
Yeah. Okay. So currently it's saying that to export the visible elements on all stories, and there's an option called entire project. So depending on the phase or data exchange process, you can choose between these. So if it's the first time you're sharing the model with the other design team, you might want to do the entire project. And if it's in between the design phase, you can also do just the visible elements as per the requirements, right? So currently, it's as our practice on the save as mode, we will be using just this normally, and the translator we have set up it as like the general export, but there's options here where we can change the model view definitions, the schemas, the type mappings, geometry conversion, property, data, and units. So these can all be altered as per the requirements. So currently for this webinar, we have already set those up, but Archicad gives you the possibility to basically alter these settings, right? So for this, we will be going on with the general export. And once that's done, we just hit save so that the elements get saved. So the model has been exported. I will send this to the structural team. For now, we have Jayson here with us, who will be taking that file in and sort of try to seamlessly integrate that in another software, which will showcase our Open BIM concept for this webinar. So that's about it from my side for now. I'll be back soon. Jayson, feel free to take the floor.
Okay, thank you, Sudhir. I guess from your export, you also do some exporting of, let's say, attributes, right? Sudhir, I think you're muted.
Yes, about that part, I would like to mention that as well. Thank you for reminding me.
No
Yes,
problem.
so basically what we also shared was, with this model, we also want to share an attribute that has been custom made. So in a project, design team might want to have those properties custom made and sent out to another design team to fill it up or cross check. So for this one, we sort of have a custom attribute created for this slab right here.
Sorry to interrupt, Sudhir. I think no, Sudhir is showing his screen first. Maybe you can share his screen first. Thank
Okay.
you.
Yeah, so back to the Graphisoft interface. So basically, the custom attribute will be located here for the slab. So currently I have this on here on the classification and properties panel. We have a lot of properties here, but for this one, we will be mainly focusing on the floorings, where we have this custom attribute called webinar attribute 001 and 002, where the one is going to be a true or false statement. It can be a custom one. So, and the number 2 will be a description that anybody can add, like a sample description here. So this is possible here in Archicad by using the property addition manager, or let's say property manager palette. So this is sort of the settings where we can customize, create new properties or groupings, and assign this to the classification. So for this slab, we have classified this slab as a slab element, right? And then we have added the property to the slab as webinar 1 and webinar 2. So sort of just demonstrating it as a sample, I just did the hit the name, and once that's done, it will be added to the naming group, right? So if I do that, okay, it will be added here as a string, but we have the option to sort of choose from numbers, integers, or any geometrical variables such as lengths, areas, volumes, or angle. You can also have those tags lists, option sets created for it, true or false. Moreover, what's even more cool is you can have those expression-based properties defined here in the expression editor panel. So for this, we added it on the floorings. As you can see, it's over here. And this panel is where we can import and export new properties from outside as well. So if you have a template already existing in your office or company, you can import the properties that's already there, or export what you created for future use. So for this webinar, we have it on the slab, and yeah, that's what I missed earlier. So yeah, Jayson, you can go ahead now. Continue.
Okay, thank you so much, Sudhir. So maybe I can take over for the, yeah, thank you, Nu. So I'm not sure which screen I'm showing. Can you let me know which screen I'm sharing now? Or
Yeah,
maybe I
we
can.
are seeing the software, the software
The software.
interface.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
So maybe I can just share first the monitor one. Okay, so just shift my things here. Can you see my screen now? Okay.
Yeah,
So
we can see the presentation slide, right?
yes, thank you, thank you.
Okay.
So I'll be moving on the presentation slide. So this is what I'm going to show you. So for the stage 4, so we have done the stage 1 to 3 for from Archicad. So for the stage 4, we're going to import the exported file from Archicad. So from there, we're going to use that model to create some precast elements. And aside from that, we can use also the placement, automatic placement of reinforcement. So either a precast element or in situ element, we can provide these reinforcements. And then for precast elements, normally we do generate the shop drawings for production. So basically, this will be the workflow not only for in situ elements but also for precast. And then from there also, I will just give you an information regarding attributes. So if Archicad can export this information to Allplan, Allplan can do the same. So we can also provide these attributes so that any discipline that requires for this attribute will be shown on their model, on the exported model. And then the stage 5, so I will be exporting this back to Archicad so that this model will be validated by the architect. So aside from this one, so I think from the model wise, so there are some changes that I need to do. So later I'll show you on the demo. Okay, so next slide. So this will be the next slide later on. Okay, so I will be showing back now my main screen, which is monitor 2. Now, can you see my software now? Open.
Yes,
Okay.
we can.
Yeah. Yes.
So basically, this is the interface of Allplan. So for those who doesn't know about Allplan or haven't seen Allplan, so they are different industry here. So basically, that's why it's called an AEC software. Is there are different disciplines inside this Allplan. So you have the architecture, engineering, you have this bridge for construction, bridge construction, and also the precast. We have also the roads construction, and yeah, you can customize also as well. So basically, we'll just continue. I have the file now from Sudhir, which is this one. Yeah. So this is the one he exported. So I will just import this using a drag and drop, or I can use the import IFC data. So basically, I can just use the drag and drop, much easier. So I'll just drop it, drag and drop. Then I will be asking for where I'm going to save it. So basically, I'll just choose one. I can go to open all drawing files. So we have actually 9,900 files or 9,999 files where you want to save it. So you can just choose from there. So I'll just choose number 1 and then just wait for a while to load it. Yeah. So I can have now my model. So basically, this is the model that's here shown earlier, right? And since I will be the one in charge for the structural, so what I have mentioned that there are need to be changed. There's some elements here that needs to be changed. Let's say, for example, for all the beams and columns, so we have to change the sizes. So this one is 250. So I guess this should be at least about, if I'm going to measure, it's about, has to be at 300. So it will be tied up with the beam. So, but before that, since I'm working with Allplan, so I can show it to you that we have this kind of building structure wherein we can organize our files, right? So basically what I did was using the same model, I already have this separated. So I have this ground floor, I have this first floor, and I have this second floor. So basically I'm going to work on these 3 levels. And if I'm going to open these things, so I'll just say open. Yeah, I'll just open. Yeah, just open this. and then let's say select one, click on, and I can show it to you that I will have the same model. So basically I just have pre-modeled the beam, so maybe I can just remove this beam, just to remove it. Okay, so basically I have this model now, similar to what I have initially. And then moving forward, before I change the elements, just want to highlight for the slab. I guess this is the slab that Sudhir created. So just to show you, the attribute was captured. Let me check. Yep. So there is an attribute one wherein for this case, it's true or false on Archicad, but for my case, it's just check or uncheck. So it depends on maybe the calculation or the integer that was placed before it was exported. So just to show you that whatever you placed on in Archicad as the attribute, it will be captured also in Allplan. Yeah. Okay. So moving forward, so as I mentioned before, I'm going to change the sizes of the columns. So I will just separate the column. I can do this way, or I can also, let's say, open this whole thing. And then I can use my object palette here, which I can make it more easier to use. So I can just say remove the visibility of all, and then say highlight or open the eye of the column so that I can only see the column. So what I can see from here is that the column size is 250 by 250. So I need to change all of them, let's say, to be a 300 size of column. So what I can use is this apply architecture component to this column, and I will change this to 300 by 300, and then say okay. And then I will just say click all of this and then say apply. So basically the rest will be shown, but you can just say go back to this object and just remove this and highlight this again. So if I'm going to check on the column now, all the columns will be should be 300 from this part. So that's how fast it is to change all in one. Now, if I'm going to open my beam, so basically I have a beam on the second floor, which is this one. So basically my beams, as I think from the base, maybe the design, it should be 300 width. So for now, it is only 250. Okay. So what I'm going to do is change, of course, the beams as what I have done with the column. So I will just use the same thing and then select the beam, and then I will just change the thickness of the beam to make it 300. So I can say I can select which beam I'm going to change. Let's say like this one, or I can highlight as a window selection, and then I will say apply. And of course, let's see if it changed now. So now the thickness also, or the width of the beam also changed in one time. So you don't have to click one by one and then change. So it's easier to do this way. Okay. So this is for the changes that I have made for the column and beam. So basically, moving forward with the other structure, like for the slab on the ground floor. So basically, I have this, make it visible. So I have this slab. So how fast is it to create a reinforcement? So particular to different areas. So for the thickness here, you can see it's they're different. So maybe I can just focus, let's say, on one element here. What I can do is just create a view. So if I'm going to create a view, just say view, generate view, and then I can select or I can say select, or I can select all, so it doesn't matter. So I will just select all. It's a plan view. So I'm just making a view so that when I put the reinforcement, it will be reflecting on this slab. So basically, if I place now reinforcement, where is it? Reinforcement, yeah. And then I will just use this enter area reinforcement. And then if I'm just going to say do a window, and then say the concrete cover will be 25. As you can see, I have reinforcement here already. I can change the spacing. Let's say make it exaggerated a little bit to 200. And then I have some hooks on the end part. So you can modify the hooks of the bars. So basically, I just say okay. So if I'm going to show this in the isometric view, there should be some reinforcement shown already. So this one I will show it later. So this is just one direction. But of course, I need another direction. So I can say just match, select the boundary, and then say I will just use 45 and then just say okay. And as you can see, it creates the crossbar of the reinforcement. So basically, if I'm going to zoom in here, you can see that the bars are shown here. So let me try to check. Let's see the visibility of this slab. So slabs might transparent. So basically this one. So the thickness might need to change, or the diameter might need to change. So basically, it shows the this kind of reinforcement because of the bar size was not properly changed. Maybe it's too big, so maybe I can just change it. Let's say right click, modify mark. Let's say about just 13 or 12. Let's see. So as you can see, when I change the bar diameter, it reflects, or it shows already the correct um, correct shape of the bars. So what I change is the horizontal, so I can change also the other bar to make this one as say 10. Okay. Yeah. So just a oh, okay. Let me try to refresh the things. Yeah. It does not reflect properly here, but it can be seen here. So you can see from this part, it's hidden. Let me try to remove this. Okay. Yeah. So as you can see here, so maybe just a graphic thing, but of course it can be shown here. So this is only on one floor, I mean on one layer, but of course we need to provide two layers, so we can say I can place it again, select this span reinforcement and then match, and then click on the area. So I can just say from this part, let's say 45, and then change diameter to 13, so I think it's fine. Say okay, and then you can see now clearly where it is placed. Okay, so this is on top. I think I need to hide again the slab so that you can easily see more the reinforcements. So yeah, so for this case you can adjust your spacing manually. Okay, so this is just to show you for placing reinforcement on a slab, in situ slab. Okay. Next, I can move on to, since I separated all the elements in different files, I can just move on. So if you're working in a group, then you can assign one person to do walls, one person to do column. So this is how you can organize in Allplan. So now if I go to my wall, so this is the wall. I have to open this. So basically, these are the walls. And then we're going to create them as a precast. So what I can do here is just select this tab and then I can say precast element, and then I can highlight everyone or everything here. So once there's a marking, it means they are already converted as a precast element, and it will automatically generate the typical walls if they are really typical. So it will be counted as one shop drawing or one element. Okay. So after that, since this already a precast elements, I can already generate the shop drawing. So I can just select this one, element plan. So we call it in Allplan as element plan. And then I can select this element and then say I can generate already my shop drawing. And not only that, I can generate not only one, but two shop drawings. So basically for this shop drawing, I have the reinforcement, and then for the other one, I have my concrete body. So you don't have to let's say create separately your drawings of what you want to show. So basically, if you have multiple drawings, it's also possible to generate not just one but more. Okay, so as I have shown you, there's a shop drawing and then there's a reinforcement. Of course, we need to provide a reinforcement for this element. So what I can do, I can say automated wall reinforcement, and then I can just select this element, and as you can see, I will have my reinforcement inside. So of course, in your shop drawing, it still does not show, but if I create this, then your reinforcement will be shown. Okay, so there will be question, do you have the bar schedule of each element? Yes, we have this uh, bar schedule. So what I have to do here is just refresh the drawing and say okay. Then I will have all the list, all the bars that I have used on this wall, particular wall, because this one is a precast, so it will be an individual element. Okay, so once this was converted or changed to precast, of course, you can modify the element according to precast standard. Let's say, for example, I have to put some connection for the column to the wall. So basically, I need to provide some recess here so I can create some cutouts. Like, for example, I need to cut something here. So maybe I could just make this like this one. And then from where to where, so I can cut it. So maybe I can zoom in also here, just for you to see that even though I'm working with 2D shop drawing, it reflects already on your 3D. So basically, it reflects here, right? And it reflects also on your drawing. So basically, you don't need to dimension because it automatically dimensions whatever you're going to change on your drawing or your element. So aside from that, as on my table here, I have my cousin item, so maybe I can provide some fixtures. So let's say I want to have this kind of box, VS box, and then I will just place it, let's say here, and then rotation 90, so I can see it from below, and then I can place it somewhere at this height, and say about 600. Right? So that automatically gives you the dimension. So it shows also the text, what was placed. So if I'm going to close this, I have my fixture here, and as you can see from here, it also reflects. So of course, I can work with my fixtures at the 3D model. So I can select from here. So what I can do here is I can copy. So this is the copy icon, and then select this fixture, and from here I will copy 3 times or 2 times with a spacing of 1000. Oops, maybe one part was, oh no, sorry, I missed it. I put it the wrong way, so maybe I just do an undo for a while. Okay, Again, we can repeat that. Select the element that you want to copy. And then since I'm working on the global, that's why it's wrong. So we have to make this copy 2 times, but instead of in X axis, it should be on the Z axis, and then a space of 1000. Then I can have it all here. So I have this on my model as well as on my element plan or shop drawing. So it automatically dimensions your fixtures, and it shows here how many fixtures. Okay, so basically this will be for how you can model or how you can generate the precast element combined with your in situ. So it doesn't matter how many drawings you want to use, as long as you want to get the information, then you can provide more shop drawings here. And that's how easy you can place your reinforcement. And also, if you want, I can do selection also for the rest of the elements. And then I can just say create here. And then I can have all of them with reinforcements. So basically, that's the basic reinforcement on how we can place on the walls. So since you already have the shop drawing for this one, then you can export these drawings for your production. So it's easy just to show it to you. You can export this using the batch run. So in the batch run, you have different types of um, let's say file that you can export. So you can just say what you want to export here. So yeah, and then say okay, and then you can just select the element. So because basically I don't have to make go into details because we're running out of time. So and then this one has to be passed to Sudhir. So what I'm going to do now is that I just need to, let's say, create the attributes. So let me check if I have the attributes of my wall. Which one is this one? So let me check if I'm going to select this. Basically, I just do a modification. So I want to know if I have something here. So for this case, I will just add some attributes. Let's say this 2, because this normally asks this attribute. So it will have to, let's say, select this. Okay, just for a while it's still loading. So I can just choose, let's say, this one. And then another one will be that 102. Yeah, I can just choose this one also. So I have these 2 attributes. So I think Sudhir can see this right later. So I will just say okay, and just to double check for the wall attribute, it was placed properly. Yeah, so it's here. So basically, you have 2 different elements here, the precast element and the architectural element. So I can also add this into precast element. So I can do an additional. So as you can see, they don't have it here. So I can also add the same. So code, I can add. Okay, just for a while loading for a bit because there's a quite a lot of lists here. So just need to select which one. Okay, and then I say okay. And then I can do it the rest for the attributes. So I can just add this as well to the others. So but for now I will just add it on this element. Okay, so basically that's how that's my part for the structural. So I changed the column size, the beam size, and also changed the wall and this reinforcements in the slab. So maybe just a quick one on the second floor. Maybe I can say open this as my reference. and then I will just open the slab. So this is just a quick one since I need to provide this part as a precast elements, so I can just use the precast slab and then make it a half floor. So I will just put some slab here so that when I export this, Sudhir will have the same information. So I already have this part, I can have this part. Okay, so I just say, okay, so this is how fast you can create your precast slab. So if I'm going to remove the object, so you can see there's a slab, precast slab shown here. So yeah, that's all for my side. So what I'm going to do now is open the whole thing. So I will just export whatever here, whatever I have here, and then I will export this as a IFC. So I will just remove this so that you don't have to. Okay, so this is the model now, and then I'm going to export this, export, and then
Jayson,
yeah.
why isn't the columns showing up in the first floor?
Oh, the columns, because it's still in the invisible mode, so I have to open that first.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you, thank you. So I have to open the columns. Yeah, there it goes. Okay, so I think that should be for the model. Then I will just export this model using the export and then IFC. So from this one, I can just export. So there, I'll pass this original file to you directly in Teams, and so that you can import this as live file. Okay.
Yeah.
Just
Okay. Yeah.
export.
Sure.
Wait, so I will just export this. 6. So just wait for a while to export. It's about 2 minutes. Oh, quite fast. Interesting. Now it's at 98%. So just wait for a while. I think we still have much time. We can exceed our time, right? Sorry, I got too
Yeah. No
detailed
worries.
on the information.
No worries. Yeah. We much needed information. No worries.
Yeah, so that they have a clear view on what we're showing. So yeah, we just wait for this original file so that I can send it to you, so that they can see that there's no hidden here. There's no hidden information. So yeah, just for a while, still on that. So how do you find it, Sudhir? What can you say about this process in Allplan and the
Yeah.
attributes?
Yeah. I think it's quite nice that you can place those pre-bars quickly and design the precast elements as well. It's really nice to see that quickly happening in front of me in like 15 to 20 minutes. You did that. It was quick.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because this is mostly the problem. So if they really don't collab each other, of course the problem will exist.
Yeah.
And it's really hard if let's say for example the project is already starting and then they get only that time that hey, I have flashes or this beam size you need to change.
Yeah.
And suddenly it will be a big problem on the site. So
Yeah.
it's better to have this kind of collaboration or integration.
Yes, absolutely. Like the changes that you did now will be reflected to all the teams that use the BIM model from the
Yeah,
structural team, which is really nice for them to also design their own parts during their own parts.
yeah. So let's just wait for a little bit more time. I think because of the reinforcement, that should not be taking that long. About 2 minutes more. No, is okay. We extended a little bit because it's more informative, right?
Yeah, no problem. It's very interesting that you share a lot about the workflow here, so no problem.
Yeah, thank you. So yeah, I'm just showing that you're not working only with architectural features, but also with precast elements, with in situ elements, reinforcements, and then of course for your construction. So it's very, let's say, very useful software, especially when you're coordinating with other disciplines. Yeah, not quite taking so long because of maybe reinforcement. I should not be including the beams, but yeah, it was included, so it's fine. Because every data has to be transferred, right? So this is how it will work. So we just wait for a while. Just bear with us. Yeah. So after this, I think Sudhir will be showing you what are the changes that will be reflecting in Archicad, right?
Yeah, we can sort of summarize as well. In the meantime, when we have those slides on.
Nice. I think it was already in, so I can send it to your teams, Sudhir.
Yeah.
Okay, just sending. Here we go. Yeah, already sent to you. So maybe, yeah, okay. So I already sent. Maybe you can check on this.
Yeah.
Yeah. So no, I think you can transfer it to Sudhir. Thank you.
I transferred the presenter mode to you already, Sudhir. I think you can share your screen now.
Okay. So just to quickly summarize what has happened earlier was we went from stage 1 to 3 quickly on Archicad. We had the sample model, and then on stage 2 we talked about setting up the attributes and the layer combinations, the graphic overrides for the QAs, and things like that. And after that, we on the Allplan, Jayson did the demo for you all, and now we will be focusing on the slide, the verification on stage 6. So after the verification, if it's correct, we will be creating the post design view for further working on the design. And if it's not correct, or if the model is not yet finalized or has some issues, then it will go back to the stage 5 to the structural team. So quickly starting on the Archicad side for demonstrating the stage 6. So this is the pre-designed view. Even the whole model, let's say here, all on. So this was what got sent to all the teams, and also the structural team earlier got the whole design. In Allplan, not exactly, you did not see the whole architectural elements, and that was on purpose. We sort of wanted to focus on the structural elements. So let's say it was in between the design phase, we exchanged the files. So that's why we only had the structural elements, which looked like this. And now if I go to my ground floor and turn the same layers on for the let's say post, because now that pre-design is completed, we have the structural elements coming back from Allplan. So it will be the post-design phase for now, just to so to speak. So on the post-design layer combinations, we don't have anything. We need to import. So I will sort of import. So we can go to the file and merge. So basically file, on the interoperability option, we have the merge function here. where we can merge the file that comes in from any other BIM softwares. So so generally importing, we will be sort of using the translator as general import. And so we'll open that, and it'll ask me to whether I want to embed the library or do I want to store it on the external location. We have these options, but for now, I'll embed it in the same file. And once I hit OK, there's this building selection dialog where it asks me what I want to import. So on the file, we have the file name as webinar series, which is sent out from the structural team. So Jayson has sent me out this one, and I will sort of import that. Okay, so the next dialog box pops up saying the positioning of the merged file. So if there's any issues between the story elevations, then it will show up here. So currently we don't have any issues. The ground floor for the host and the model is on the same level. So that's why you can also see the tick mark going on here, and everything looks normal. So we can just do OK. But there are other options where we can, align the merge file with several other kinds of origins, like survey points or just the Archicad project origin. So it just depends on the project requirements and how we import and export. So for this, we have the stories automatically aligned here, and it's quite simple. So we just hit OK and continue. So there we have it. We have the post design structure elements that just got exported from Allplan. And now, as you can see, the layer combinations has turned out to be custom. Now we just need to feed the correct layers to the combinations that I've created as post structure. So W004 post structure is what the layer will be for the post design phase, let's say, or the elements that got exported from Allplan. So currently, I can see that these are the layers that came in. It shows up in the extension as well. You can sort these out by clicking on the extension, and all these IFCs are listed as shown here. So it's quick and easy to find. We can select all those at the same time and turn that on and update the post structural layer combination like that. Once it's updated, it will stay in that layer combinations. We can hit OK. So now our layer combination is correct, and this is the view on the ground floor plan. But if I quickly move on to the post structural elements view, the 3D view, which I've already saved here. So this is the view that we have now, which shows all those rebars that were placed, the precast elements that were done in Allplan. And also we can go quickly check out the attributes that was sent in this wall. So if I remember, it's this wall where Jayson had placed the okay, so which wall was it again? I think it was this one.
It's the first one. It's the first one, Sudhir. The front.
Okay, it's this one, right? It's this one.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's supposed to be show up here. But yeah, basically we can have that on this element here. Just to quickly recap that. So quickly recapping that out and import. So just checking out the walls only for
the first one.
Mm.
The other one. So here the other one.
Oh yeah, this one.
Yeah.
Okay, what's this one?
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the Kobe file is right here. So the what he mentioned on the IFC file, he embedded the property here. So the attributes comes directly inside of the Archicad interface as well on the classification and properties panel, where now the designers can see that property and act accordingly for completing the design. So
yeah, just to add up, because this normally was asked from some of my let's say friends or some of those persons that are looking for the attributes, always attributes. So just to give you information that we can exchange attributes if it's really necessary to provide this. So we don't have to worry of the attributes.
yes, absolutely. And once we have those structural elements coming back from the design team, all the remaining design teams also can be updated with the newly updated file from Archicad to other design disciplines who might be using various other softwares to design the MEP section as well, and even new changes that might occur in architecture design can be also fed back to the structural team for further adjustments, right? So so I think that's the conclusion on the webinar we have here today. So if we have any questions, then we can go now ahead with the
So thank you, Sudhir and Jayson, for a very interesting workflow. So now we are open for questions, and if you have any questions for our speakers, you can submit your questions on the chat in the chat box on the right side of your screen, and we'll wait for a few minutes for the questions.
So I guess while waiting for those questions to come out, maybe we can say something, Sudhir, for our next episode, for this coming episode 2, right?
Yeah. For the next episode, obviously, as I said, about the MEP, because we do want to have that as well. And
Are you sharing screen, Sudhir?
no,
Yeah.
I'm sharing. I think
1 second. I will share my screen. 1 second.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, sure. No worries.
Continue.
Yeah.
So yeah, well, the questions round will be continued. And the next webinar, yeah, Jayson, we will continue with the design phase of the MEP elements. We will sort of export that MEP elements from Archicad, right? And we will see how that works out on your side and get that back to Archicad and see a similar workflow. So,
so basically, there will be additional information how you can pass this information to Allplan again, and then we can do it. We can modify your, especially the precast elements easily using this MEP. Yeah. Should I say it now? Anyway, it's on additional informations.
Yeah.
So let's see on the episode 2 on our
yeah. So we are hopeful to see you guys all in the next webinar again. So yeah.
Yeah. So since we have no questions, I think we will conclude our webinar here. So if you have any questions or need any further assistance after this webinar, please contact us, GSI, or through our website or social media channels, or you can connect directly to our speakers LinkedIn so that you can have direct conversation with them. So thank you for your time today. Thank you, Jayson. Thank you, Sudhir, for a very informative webinar. And we were looking forward to seeing you again at our next webinars.
Thank you.
Have a nice
Sudhir.
day.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye-bye.